Hi, good evening. And today we'll be playing a game of Hearts of Wulin. Hearts of Wulin is a PBTA game written by Lowell Francis. Um, uh, Completed a successful Kickstarter last year. Will hopefully soon be out in a released format. We are playing using the playtest rules that are currently available. And in particular, we're using a couple of the additional play sets in the playtest material, notably the supernatural setting and the courtly setting rules. So Hearts of Wulin is a game of martial arts melodrama. It's sort of based on Chinese wuxia drama, particularly sort of the like long form TV series style ones, where there's lots of passion, lots of interpersonal relationships, as well as some sort of high flying action. In particular, I'm drawing on inspiration from the Untamed, as it's currently released as over here, which is has a bit more of a supernatural element, and as well as looking at the kind of rivalries and interactions between a number of powerful martial arts clans, and that's the kind of setting we'll be playing in for this game. So I'm going to that said, I'm going to ask each of our players to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their character, and then we'll go into a little recap on what happened last time. Unfortunately, our last session we were interrupted by an internet outage, so we didn't quite get to a conclusion for last session. But we'll play about a bit and see where we get to. Cool. So I'm going to, as ever, go in character keeper order. So Puckett, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the character you'll be playing this evening.
Hi there, I am Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight I'll be playing Zhang Long, who also uses he, him pronouns. He is sometimes called Young Zhang or Blind Zhang because Golden Soul Scholar, in his esoteric research in summoning demons, meddled with powers far outside his understanding and ability to control. And as a result, Zhang was blinded and intends to depose Golden Soul Scholar by any means necessary, because Zhang knows firsthand that these are not forces that should be ruling the kingdom. Anything else you'd like to know?
Awesome. No, that's brilliant. That's great for a start off. Thank you very much. And next, Brian, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
I'm Brian, he, him, and I am playing Mirror of the Cloud, also he, him. Yeah, Mirror of the Cloud would prefer not to be spending his time at court, but yeah, recent events, all this talk of getting rid of all the demons, and also the you know, the strange weather we've been having and monsters roaming means Mirror of the Cloud and his clan need to get more involved and learn more about what's going on. And yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Next, Maria, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character, or tell us a bit about yourself if you want to. But
I'm Maria. I use she/her pronouns, and I will be playing Yaling Liu, who also uses she/her pronouns. She is a handmaiden in the Liu clan. She's sort of like the main like maid servant to Consort Silver Starlight, who is the head of the clan, and as such, it puts her in a good position to sort of observe what goes on at court. She kind of wants to obtain power and prestige, and she thinks that like being allied with this particular clan that she's like been adopted into might help out with that. She wants to know things.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Next, Lara, if you'd like to to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Yeah, hi y'all. I'm Laura, she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Lei Ning, also she, her pronouns. Lei is a lower ranking member of the Shang clan. Her only family and brother is Tian Ning. Our parents disappeared under mysterious circumstances right around the time the current ruler came to power. Right now I have minimal prospects, but a very pretty face and secrets for sale, so I get by just fine. During my time at court, I learned that knowledge is power, and I want to learn all of the court's secrets. I also realized that life is very short, so I want to travel the world and experience life.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And last but not least, Chris, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi, my name is Chris. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Min Yang, who also uses he, him pronouns. Min is a quietly influential magistrate in the court of Golden Soul Scholar. But my clan is out of favor, so although people value my counsel privately, I don't have a lot of influence, and I have to learn the roundabout ways of getting things done. I promised Lei Ning I would not reveal her feelings, but I'm worried about the danger she poses to Zhang Long, with whom I'm in love. Blind Zhang. I want to learn how the demons work, how they're exerting their influence at court, even if that means letting them continue to extend their influence longer than they might otherwise.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Before we get started, I'll just quickly have a recap of our safety tools. We're using the open door policy, which is to say, if at any point you need to leave, then feel free to do so. If you can, drop me a message to let me know if you're either if you're going to be back or how long you'll be. That is cool. But don't feel that you have to. If something comes up and you just need to go, then by all means go. Whether that be for like you just got to quickly go and answer the door, you need to take 5 minutes away, or you just need to end the session because you're not feeling up to it, or whatever else. Anything is fine. Any reason is fine. No need to explain. Like I said, if you can give me an indication that of if you'll be back or when you'll be back, that'll be cool. But don't feel that you need to. Hopefully we won't have a repeat of last time, but if for whatever reason like I drop out of existence, again I will try and let you know. If like if I'm not able to get back to you, then if I'm not back for about 10 minutes, so assume that something's come up and I can't make it back. But I said touch wood, that it should be fine. We'll also be using the X card. The X card is quite simple. If you need to call out for the X card, you can either put something in the chat at the side. You can hold up your hands in a sort of X formation, though I have an arm mic, which makes it slightly difficult. Or you can just say, "I'd like to X card that." As I've said before, that is probably the way most likely to get my immediate attention, because of the tabs being what they are. I will not always be looking at the screen. I can see all your faces on. So, but yeah, if something is X carded, we'll just sort of move around that in the fiction. We'll probably avoid bringing it up again. It will get added to our lines and veils as appropriate. If you do need to X card anything or want to X card anything, you can do that for whatever reason it would be, whether it's because you're not comfortable with that content or because it may even be that you don't feel it's tonally appropriate and it's not what we're looking for in the game or what you're looking for in the game. You want to try and do something different, that's fine. You can exit. I won't ask you to explain why you've X carded something, and I might need to ask what you've X-carded, but that's just so that we're all clear. But I won't ask you to explain why you are. We'll take that as read. That for whatever reason we want that out of there. We'll also be using script change. Script change is another safety tool that works in a similar sort of way to the X card, but with a bit more nuance to it. So it's sort of based on like video remote control commands. So first and foremost, there is the pause command. You can call pause at any moment if you want to just stop the game briefly. We can have a quick out of character chat, or whatever else we need to do. So we might have a quick character chat because you're not happy with the way the scene's going, or you like the way the scene's going. You just want to make sure everyone else is on board with it, or whatever else. Or if you're like I said, you're not happy with the content of it, or again, if it's something like, hey, can we call pause for this for a moment because I've just got a phone call and I need to pop away for a second. Pause can be used for basically any of those moments where we just want to just take a step back for a second. Fast forward can be used if we just want to kind of skip over something that's happening in the scene. So this kind of is a bit like our veils as well. If like we don't want a particularly gruesome description of someone getting beaten up or whatever, we say no. Can we just move past that to the point when that's already happened and pick up again from there, and that's fine. It might also be because the scene's just kind of like going around in circles or not really getting anywhere, and we just want to kind of move on to the next exciting thing rather than getting caught in one of those sort of those loops in a scene. Rewind can be used if we want to go back and change something that's just happened. And again, this might be if we get partway into a scene and you realize actually you're not comfortable with a certain element anymore, you want that removed. Or it might be because you just think, actually, I don't like the way I just phrased what I said. Can I phrase it slightly differently? Anything like that, rewind is there for that. The other one that might come up is frame by frame, which is essentially if we just want to take a scene more slowly because it's sort of veering into territory that might be a bit uncomfortable for some people, or if it's just going to be quite a complicated scene, we just want to have lots of frequent check-ins to make sure everyone knows what's going on. And to sort of tie into that idea as well, we finally have instant replay, which is for if we want to go back over something that's just happened. And this might and this is usually used like after a scene, but that might either be because we want to just clarify something. We want to say, oh wait, that scene got a little bit hectic. Did you steal the emerald after all? I know that's what you were there for. So we can kind of clarify those like factual details. Or it might be if you'd say, I really liked what happened in that scene just now, I'd like to see more of it. Anything else like that. That is our instant replay. So yeah, those are our safety tools. And obviously at any point, feel free to, if you ever have any questions or anything else, feel free to ask. Yeah, so I think that's our safety tools. So I'll just have a quick recap, and also thank you, Puckett, for the notes that you took from last time. I've just had a quick flick through those myself to make sure that I was remembering things correctly. But yeah, we had kind of our opening scene last time, where the setting of this world is obviously you have a martial arts world that is able to is both highly skilled in the martial arts and also the manipulation of chi and sorcery that comes about as a result of this. There are supernatural elements to the world, ghosts, demons, that sort of thing. So in the martial world, the key players of the martial world are ruled over by the inhabitant of the Immortal throne, which is currently Golden Soul Scholar, a member of the. I've lost track of which clan he was a member of. I think he was a member of the Shang clan originally, who has now kind of surpassed his clan of birth to rule over the Wulin as a whole. He is buoyed up in his position of power by the pacts he has sworn with demonic creatures, actual demons, and has both political and both political and martial power. There are altogether 6 clans, or 5 clans and 1 organization that are prominent within the martial world. Those are the Wang clan and the Shang clan, who are both broadly speaking in favor with the ruler, with Golden Soul Scholar. There is the Chan clan and the Liu clan, who are largely neutral, notably featuring Consort Silver Starlight, who we observed last time. We have the Wu clan and the 11 Devil Perfection Society, who are both out of favor, and we got an indication of why both are at this point last time. Not only are the Wu clan out of favor, but in our last session, their current leader, predictionist Azure Condor, was imprisoned by Golden Soul Scholar for speaking out against him, and tarnishing his name in front of the court. One could argue that Porcelain Smile said very similar things, but they were slightly more circumspect in their words, and were spared any overt punishment for the time being. We then got a little bit of some scenes with some kind of day-to-day scenes in which we saw the 2 members of the Wu clan who are player characters, Zhang Long and Min Yang, chatting with each other about the future of their clan. And we saw Yaling Liu attending to her mistress and overhearing some of the conversation between her and Golden Soul Scholar, and learned that she, Silver Soul Starlight, may have ulterior motives. So I think that is broadly where we got up to last time. So yeah, as I said just before, I think I'd like to kick off with either Lei Ning or Mirror of the Cloud, if there is a scene you would like to see, as we didn't kind of get around to you properly last time. So yeah, I'll open it actually to either. Does either of you have an idea for something you immediately want to do or to see?
Well, I was about to do something.
Yes, my memories of the end of last session, from my perspective, was I was just asking you what you wanted to do. I was waiting for a response. I tabbed out and I was like, Brian seems to be taking an awful long time to reply. Tabbed back in and there was just a blank screen. It was
Yeah, so I guess what you missed was Mirror of the Cloud, kind of watching Min Yang and Zhang Long walk off together, kind of disappointed, as stepping on a spider. Not clear if Mirror was doing that intentionally or if it just coincidence. And then Mirror was going to turn and just basically make use of my trickster move to be able to just use hearts on mind on on anyone he wants, and to just approach some of Golden Scholar's kind of inner circle and try to get under their skin and start building his influence in the court. So
awesome. Yeah, that sounds good.
so I was just looking for a good target for that.
Yeah, so I think that you will track down I think that you will track down Duke Frozen Lake, his name is. He is a man of aristocratic bearing, not one of the major clans, but a landowner in his own right, and also obviously because of his inclusion here, a martial artist of some skill. He is part of Golden Soul Scholars inner circle. He is one of his sort of very nebulous sort of ministerial type figures. There isn't a full on like government, but there are duties that are performed and like he is he's moderately young. He's got these sort of long formal robes on, and he's got very, very pale skin, very artfully made up with very pointed eyebrows, and I think that you just find him. I think he is stood on a balcony overlooking the garden, on a sort of terrace overlooking more of the gardens. Sort of stood, one hand behind his back, ramrod straight, looking out over the gardens. Doesn't seem to be focused on anything in particular, but just seems to be kind of keeping an eye on the.
I will just approach and let's see. That was it's quite an interesting. What was it? What? Yeah, what was that called? Was that a? Everyone was called together for.
Well, I think Golden Soul Scholar will make his desires known to those he can trust to carry out their duties. He kind of eyes you up and down. You are one of the 11 devils, yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
then I think you should consider yourself fortunate that you and your people have not yet met the same fate as your condor. If your leader keeps up their chattering, I have no doubt that they will follow down the same route sooner rather than later.
Was that the point of this get together, to just let Golden Soul Scholars enemies stick their feet in their mouths?
We have important duties to undertake, and we need everyone to be aware of what we the threats that we face and the response that we must make to them. This is not a time for petty bickering, but, well, you cannot teach some people.
You're a teacher?
No, I serve other functions for Golden Soul Scholar.
Other functions? What do you mean?
I have no particular desire to give a full recounting of my duties. Let it be said that
Quick summary.
that I assist our master in removing threats from the Wulin world.
Like permanently removed, you're talking about.
When it is necessary. When, as you say, people, or when there is no alternative, but as I say, I am not a teacher. If I am involved, usually they have had a chance to change their ways.
That's quite generous of you.
So, what do you wish with me? I am sure you are not here just to make small talk.
Oh. Small talk? Big talk? I like to talk.
I got that impression, yes. the So tell me then, what do you hope to gain serving a failing sect of madmen that do not even have the pedigree of a noble line to call their own? Why serve them when you could, I am sure, find adequate employment in a more reputable organization?
Well, I suppose then I would have to behave more reputably myself. I don't know that I'm up for the task.
That is a very good point. So I ask again, what do you wish of me? I have other places to be.
Well, I guess I found you here. You seem bored.
I could certainly welcome some distraction.
Not sure where to go from here.
No worries. If we want, we can skip to another scene briefly. Lei Ning, is there anything you would like to be up to whilst this is all going on?
I think Lei Ning wants to pursue Porcelain Smile, or the undercover Porcelain Smile.
Sure thing. Yeah. If memory serves, last time you had discovered that, yes, indeed, Porcelain Smile was doing the old disguising themselves as one of their own servants' tricks, whilst one of their imitators was delivering a speech, or perhaps something even more unusual is taking place. But we will learn more, I'm sure. But I think that you are you wanting to sort of follow them like covertly, or are you just sorry, lost my train of thought. Are you just kind of approaching them?
At first covertly, until like I can establish that they are alone, and then I would come out of the shadows. But if they're going somewhere,
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, I think you will follow them. You'll sort of follow them for a little bit. They will head into one of the sort of like side halls, and I think this has like some like suits of armor sort of arrayed down the sides of it, and old banners of hanging up behind them. And I think you do that sort of thing of like waiting for a moment, coming around the door, stepping into it, and you lose sight of them like amongst this armor until you suddenly feel a presence approaching you from behind.
I think that we see Lei Ning the tips of her mouth kind of curl into a smirk and says, I see you have discovered me.
Indeed, I have. And what, might I ask, interested you so much that you thought to seek me out here?
I think Lei Ning is at this point going to turn and face Porcelain Smile. I'm assuming that's who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's certainly someone in the same mask anyway. But yeah.
Okay. I think that Lei Ning will kind of take a step towards Porcelain and say, well, that was a very interesting performance we saw earlier. I can't help but wonder why you were playing Puppet Master and not the lead role.
It is sometimes it is more useful to take a step back and see things from the outside. Sometimes it is useful to have a distraction, and sometimes it is just entertaining to keep people guessing.
A distraction, I can understand. I'm very good at distractions. As far as entertainment goes, I quite enjoyed myself. However, I have a sneaking suspicion your motives were not purely for entertainment purposes. And I guess I'm a little curious.
I am not surprised that Golden Soul Scholar moved against the Wu clan. I am merely surprised it has taken as long as it has. It is abundantly clear that Golden Soul Scholar has more interest in dominating his opponents within the Wulin world than in stabilizing the world, shall we say, dealing with those threats with which our kind are trained to deal.
And you think you could do a better job of protecting our world from said evils?
Oh, no, not at all. No, I am not the person for that, but I am interested in keeping the Wulin world ready and prepared to deal with things. I have my own particular plans, which I shall not bore you with. But no, I have no interest in seeing the Wulin world reduced to being mere puppets of Golden Soul Scholar and his people.
Yes, but your puppets are ever so more appealing, aren't they?
Quite so, quite so. What I will tell you, though, is that Golden Soul Scholar does not have control over demons that he thinks he has. He is skilled and talented. I will give him that. But he sees them as tools to be manipulated. And that is not the case.
You taught him, did you not?
I taught him some things, yes. Others, alas, he does not seem to have learnt. As I say, his technical skill is far superior to his wisdom.
What would you say to somebody who was interested in learning of these arts?
I would say there is a cave on the north side of Mount Fang, and were someone to find themselves there at the midnight of a full moon, they would be able to learn much, or at least begin their learning.
Thank you.
Do not thank me yet.
Well, then I suppose that I will have to see you again soon to thank you. Later then.
Of course, of course.
And I think that Lei Ning disappears or skips off down the corridor of armor.
Yeah, and Porcelain Smile likewise sort of vanishes into the shadows, almost doing the kind of Cheshire Cat thing as they fade back into the darkness.
Right.
Cool. So, yeah, I think we'll pop back to Mirror of the Cloud, and Frozen Lake will sort of turn and say, now, if you will forgive me, I have other duties to attend to.
I suppose I could forgive you.
How very gracious of you.
Yes, gracious. That's mainly one of my main attributes. Extremely gracious.
And I think he will smirk and say, well, at least your people can always be relied upon to be amusing, I suppose. And he will kind of he'll head off the terrace and start walking back towards the sort of the palace building. With that sort of like purpose in his stride. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really. I mean, I learned a little bit from him, but that wasn't.
You could certainly try. If you wish to follow him, you could, or if you just want to carry on following him and talking to him. You don't think he's going to kind of beat you to the side, as it were, but he is clearly kind of has somewhere to be.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to trigger my move to actually like.
Yeah. Sorry, let me say. So.
Force some kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I mean, I guess I could just keep walking along with him and refuse to let him.
Yeah, if you'd like to make me that hearts and minds thing. So yeah, what are you trying to get? What are you trying to get Duke Frozen Lake to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to like kind of get under his skin and just get him to reveal more than he would want, or.
Yeah, sure thing. That sounds good. So yeah, if you'd like to make me that hearts and minds roll, as ever, you get to choose which element you'd like to roll that with, whichever you think is most appropriate to the approach you're taking.
I'm gonna roll wood. I think curiosity and just patience of persisting.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
So that's a 10.
10, perfect. So yeah, I think as you're kind of following along and doing that like remaining within like the the sort of like rules of propriety. You can't just like kind of you're not overtly doing anything offensive or the like, so he just kind of tolerates your presence, and you're sort of talking to him.
I mean, I probably am pushing it a little bit,
Yeah,
but he's not willing to then cross the line and
exactly, yeah. And he will and I think that he kind of is just sort of like starts to, you basically just start to sort of wear him down a bit. And I think as he's sort of approaching the palace, he says, if you must know, I have been dispatched on a diplomatic mission for our master to deliver a gift to a powerful individual, and he will and he will say it is, and he will actually like, he does sort of drop his voice a little, and he says, I am sure your people would be most interested. I am taking a gift to the lord of one of the hells, and in gratitude for services he has done our master.
Why? I hope the gift is well received.
I am sure it shall be.
Seem very confident. I think I would be pretty nervous.
I have no fear of the demons with which our master works.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you shop for one of the lords of hell?
Well, it is true they do have very unique tastes. We have acquired some personal items of a holy man that I think they will find most satisfying. But anyway, I must be on my way. It does not do to keep the lords waiting.
Yeah, I'll just let him go at that point.
Cool. Awesome. So I think we're going to take our first break there. So come back, if we say come back at 10 past, and we'll pick things up and get some more scenes going. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you shortly. Cool. Welcome back, everyone. So yeah, I think with that we will see where we go next. So I'm just thinking who I'd like to see. Yeah, so I guess actually I'll ask if anyone has an idea for a scene they'd like to see, or particularly if there is another player character you would like to frame a scene with, because I feel like I've done an awful lot of talking so far this evening. So yeah, if does anyone have a scene they would like to frame up?
Kind of have an idea for one with Min Yang, maybe.
Yeah, cool. I was wondering about that myself, actually. So yeah, no, that'd be cool. I'd like to see those two together.
Where would we find Min Yang?
Find Min Yang. I think speaking with members of Golden Soul Scholars retinue. So in the hallways outside of Golden Soul Scholars apartments.
Okay. I think after like the meeting that Consort Silver Starlight was having with Golden Soul Scholar, Silver Starlight probably like walks off ahead, and I think Yaling hangs back a little bit, and waits kind of like in your eyesight.
Okay.
She's like flipped out her fan and is just, I don't know anything about fan language, but like, and I think that might be Victorian, I don't know. Like basically is like, you can tell that she's waiting patiently for you to be finished speaking to the retainers and also potentially eavesdropping.
Sure, yeah. I will conclude some business with one of the other advisors, and it, as usual, it probably didn't go my way, and I will quietly, serenely walk over to where you are, and maybe not looking directly at you, but stopping near you, say, you have an air of expectancy.
She like flips her fan shut and like does like a middle grade bow. Yes, Honorable Yang. I just have a question for you.
Please speak your mind, Yaling.
She taps the fan against her chin. What exactly is your clan playing at?
My clan, as with all good people, seeks the security and prosperity of the land.
Did we not just see your clan leader sowing discontent in the court of the imperial throne?
My clan leader's actions were honorable, but the reaction was regrettable. I cannot speak for my clan. I can speak only for myself. And out of character, I think I'm going to be speaking a little more frankly to you because you're a servant and you're not one of these people that I have to politic with. So I'll just say, let's see. Your clan is the Liu clan, is it not? What does your clan think about an empire ruled in consort with demons?
My clan.
With the understanding that neither of us speaks for our clan leader, but your clan, yes?
I think Yaling, laughs a little. You may not speak for your clan leader, but in some ways I believe that my clan leader would trust me enough to speak for her. That is, in our clan we act together. But that is beside the point. The Liu clan stands for stability within our court. The change we seek is not one that can be found with speaking derision before all members.
Well, that sounds very diplomatic. Some would say that the time for diplomacy is not infinite, that it is in fact all too brief, which leads the meditative-minded folk to wonder if the time for diplomacy has not already passed. I wonder what makes you think that this is a time for diplomacy.
Did I not just see you speaking with members of Golden Soul Scholars Court?
All right. Fair. What we cannot confront head on, we must learn to move around. I suppose that you, in your station, probably know this better than most. But our aims never change. Our aims for the security and prosperity of the land are the same, even if our methods seem circuitous or done with a hidden hand.
Isn't everything at this court done secretly?
It would seem so, except maybe when a clan leader accuses the ruler of the court of something in open court and gets kicked in the chest for it. So, and that would seem to argue for more hidden hand movements. I regret that my leader is now in prison and unable to do things even in a roundabout way.
Do you seek to free your leader?
I hope that our ruler's mercy will shine upon him. I believe in the law, and for better or worse, my clan leader was lawfully imprisoned. I could wish that the administrator of the law was different. Wait, why do you ask? Do you know of a way to free my clan leader?
Do not know a specific way, but I will say that in terms of the imprisonment of your clan leader, the consort Silver Starlight has acted on your behalf.
Oh.
We may not approve, but certain levels of stability are useful, as you say.
All right. If you should learn more about ways to free my clan leader, please find a way to be lingering in my line of sight again. And if I find a way to free him, I will also find a way to be near you as we can share this.
I think at this point I'm going to ask for an inner conflict roll for Yaling, as this does seem to be getting quite close to your entanglement involving Consort Silver Star and Min Yang.
Yeah. And that is with anything but not my style. I don't know.
That's correct. Yep. You cannot, for this role, you cannot use your style stat. It has to be one of your other elements. But it can be any other element that you choose.
I'll do wood. I feel like she's feeling pretty confident in her like relationship with Silver Starlight right now. She can go about being not very wise.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
It's a 7. That's a. I said wood, right? That's a 7.
7. Okay, yeah. So on a 7 on an inner conflict roll. Oh, firstly, you get to mark a point of XP for rolling it, and then on a 7 to 9, you can either have to flee the scene, or you can remain in the scene, but you have to mark an element.
I think, I'm going to flee this scene. And I think it looks like when Min Yang says all that stuff about like lingering in each other's eyesight, her attempts at like playing it cool and trying to be like, yes, I know things, like hit her in the face, and she like flashes her fan back into position and like just like nods and like bows and like backs away.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. That's nice. Thank you. Cool. And I think with that, I think I'd like to see Zhang Long. Do you have a either something that you want to try and get up to, or a scene you would like to frame with someone else?
I want to learn a new technique.
Cool.
And I think it might be interesting if Lei Ning wandered in while I'm practicing this technique.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think maybe there are obviously innumerable training rooms and places where they have the sort of Wing Chun dummies set up and balancing poles in ponds and all that sort of. It's not quite full 36th chamber of the Shaolin, but it's not far off. It's
and I am nowhere near any of those things. I'm doing this most likely off in the woods.
Cool.
Perhaps in the middle of not a river, but a stream, deep enough to soak your robes up to the knee if you fell in. And of course, I'm balancing on the tips of reeds and dancing to rocks and branches.
Yeah, nice.
And I shouldn't be able to do any of this. I can't see where I'm jumping to, but the wind speaks. It's just that most people don't listen.
Cool. Lei Ning, what brings you out to to this little stream in the forest where you observe this, or did you come here specifically trying to find Zhang Long?
I think that I probably came here specifically to find Zhang Long, and maybe try to, I think that would Zhang Long come out here normally, or is this like a spontaneous dancing with the wind scenario?
Everything I do at this point is designed to be unpredictable. I'm not trying to do anything that anyone at the court might think I would do. My advantage lies in surprise.
Yeah, so I think that Lei Ning probably emerges from the trees while you're mid spring, and is just kind of like in awe, jaw dropping to the ground, like.
You see the tails of my blindfold streaming behind me. And I alight upon a tip of a rock, which looks very, very sharp, as if I were a butterfly. And standing with just basically my big toe on the point of this rock, perfectly balanced, I say, "Yes, Lei Ning?"
Master, the elements seem to speak to you.
Everything speaks. Most people don't have the patience to listen and hear what it says.
The patience, the tools, the knowledge. It seems as though you have all three.
Well, I cannot lie. Some of it was forced upon me. But we adapt. Do we not, Lei Ning?
Lei Ning's going to look down at her own two hands. Yes, I think we do. I think that in this world in which we live, it is impossible to survive without adapting.
Often it's the case that unorthodox adaptations yield not necessarily the best results, but certainly unanticipated ones. That's how we find new things, new ideas. What brings you out here, Lei Ning? This is, after all, a secluded part of the forest.
I suppose I came for your advice.
I'm listening. And at this point, I flip and am now balancing on this sharp pointed rock with one finger. My right index finger, to be specific. You're muted.
Oh no.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. I understand that all knowledge can be it is a powerful thing, but is there bad knowledge? Is there ever something that we can't possibly we can't possibly conceptualize? It's just too much. Could it break us?
I ponder for several moments. Knowledge is like a weapon. Deployed rashly, recklessly, in anger, it can harm. Deployed deliberately, after reflection, it can protect. It can defend.
But sometimes don't we need that? How if we are merely defending, how is justice ever served?
You see, well, to you it looks like a frown because I'm upside down, but you see a tiny little smile. Justice moves at its own pace, my dear Lei Ning. It cannot be denied, only delayed. And there is a cost. There is always a cost.
A cost to what?
Have you not learned by now that everything has a cost? It's just that for some things the cost is higher. The debt that must be paid, nearly insurmountable. But debts always must be paid. You seem troubled. What's bothering you?
I feel I feel as though I am at the edge of a cliff. Once I jump, I don't think I come back. But I don't think that jumping would be a bad thing. I feel like it would right wrongs done, even if it means sacrificing myself for that.
Did you come here with a question for me?
I always come to you with many questions, and I always leave with many more questions than answers.
Teaching is a process of helping someone learn how to think. It is a process of helping someone learn how to find their own answers. I don't give you answers because my path and yours cannot be the same.
Nor should they.
That is indeed true. This is why you always leave with more questions. I can guide you. I can pose questions that will help you find a path that you are willing to walk, that you can dedicate yourself to. My hope is that the path that you walk is an honorable one, and that you avoid the mistakes that I have made.
You have made mistakes, Master?
Am I alive?
Perhaps. I've always wondered if you were of this world.
I was once. Now, it feels as though I am of many worlds.
I can only hope that one day I can become one of many worlds as well.
And my hope would be that you avoid the ones that I have seen. You asked earlier if knowledge can break us. Used recklessly and improperly, without temperance, if you're without strong character, yes, knowledge can break you.
Strong character I have in spades. Temperance is a virtue that I seem to lack.
You are yet young. You will learn it in time.
Thank you, Master. You have given me a lot to think about.
Good. Tell me, do you wish to rest? It is quite a long walk out here.
It is. Perhaps for just a little bit.
And with my left hand, you hear. And suddenly, from out of the trees, a mass of spiders begins weaving what looks like a hammock. Be at ease. You're safe here.
Yes, I believe I am.
I think I'd like to roll for that new technique.
By all means, yes. So yeah, I'll just quickly do a quick recap of the rules on this, as it's the first time we're seeing it in play. So new technique: when you go off to develop a new technique to face a foe of higher scale, describe your montage and roll plus the number of times you've seen your foe's fighting form. On a hit, you gain scale against your foe. On a 7 to 9, there's a significant cost to learning the move. And yeah, so yeah, if you would like to make that roll.
Now, do you think we've already done a sufficient montage?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that you know, that kind of the mystic stuff is good enough. I mean, if you want to add any further details, then by all means. But yeah, no, I feel like we've.
Okay. And then the next question, since Laura has been watching this, is this a technique that she can also learn?
Yeah, I think so. I think that seems fair.
All right. And then the last thing, I'm just looking for the roll for your party link.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I will get that for you. I meant to post it at the beginning. So
It's
formally
basic moves.
exotic.
Basic moves.
Yes, it is in the thing, but yeah, there we go. Formerly exotic basilisk.
All righty. So I've seen Golden Skull Scholar fight once.
That's right. Yep.
So I'm rolling +1, and then there's no stat bonuses.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. That is sticking at a 7.
Sure thing. So, yeah, I think. I think that I think I'm going to say that in order to kind of combat the demonic power that Golden Soul Scholar has, it requires opening yourself up a bit to that same corruption, not necessarily taking it in per se, but I think that there's just that more, it's that kind of, it's setting you down that same sort of road, as it were. So yeah, we're not talking actual like physical corruption, but just you have to kind of open up your power, open up your internal force to just that lure of the darkness.
My dear MC, where do you think these spiders came from?
Indeed.
That they do good, it does not mean that they don't come from darkness.
Exactly.
So, okay, and then that raises my scale against Golden Soul Scholar, correct?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, if you would like to make if you'd like to make a note that you have +1 scale against Golden Soul Scholar. and yes,
Just down in the notes someplace?
Yep, sure thing, yep. And yes, you also can learn this technique as well, Lei Ning, if you wish.
Yeah, I'm open to that.
Perfect.
Would I just roll for it?
No, I think well, I'll just give you that one because like getting it against you'll need probably a couple of aces in the hole to go up against Golden Soul Scholar anyway. So I think I'm happy with you just taking that as part of sorry, I'm forgetting names already. As part of Zhang Long's role, but obviously will come with the same cost. It will just kind of make you more sensitive to that lure of corrupt chi practices.
Wasn't Lei Ning already doing that?
I mean, yeah,
And is there anything else that you want to do in the scene, Laura?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. David, unless there's
Awesome.
anything else you want to do, I'm good with that.
No, I'm good as well with that. That was a nice little scene. That.
Awesome.
So I think. I think that as people are as you make your way back from the forest, as other people are going about their own business, I think that I just like to get just a very short vignette from each one of you of just like what we see your character doing around the palace and its environs. It's sort of getting on towards evening, but yeah, just a little snapshot of like what passes for their day-to-day life while they're here. I'm gonna go in reverse character keeper order this time, so I'll start with Min Yang.
I am signing off on scrolls that people have prepared for me, and I'm receiving various counselors from Golden Soul Scholars Court with tea, and all the while that I'm sort of just conducting official bureaucratic business, I'm asking people, I'm feeling them out for a way to try to get the leader of our clan, predictionist Azrael Condor, freed from prison.
Sure thing. Nice.
So yeah.
Awesome. So
drinking a lot of tea.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, no, that's cool. Sorry, I was just double checking something. But yeah, perfect. Then what do we see Lei Ning up to?
Yeah, I think that Lei Ning is kind of we see shots of her like socializing, laughing, and just this like really like boisterous, full of energy, young life. But then I think that there is a shot at the end where she's kind of like disappearing into like a dark corner of somewhere, and like just kind of lurking in the shadows, listening to everything she can and trying to fit pieces all together.
Nice. Yeah, and Yaling Liu, what do we see her up to?
I think we see her in like Concert Silver Starlight's chambers. It's like a montage of her like helping Silver Starlight change out of like her daytime robes into like nighttime outfits and like combing out her hair. And I'm wondering, and they're like probably talking about court gossip, and I think Yaling is like gently probing at the question of Azure Condor. And I'm wondering if as I'm brushing her hair, I can use shatters of deep dreams and sort of like zone out and try to extend my vision outside of my body and into the world.
Absolutely, yeah. That sounds cool.
I'll do that with water.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's a 12.
Nice. So on a hit, you get to choose one. You see what is happening to a specific living being, gain a general sense of that being's surroundings, or read their immediate motives.
Yeah, I think like we're talking about Azure Condor, and Yaling kind of like focuses her mind on him, and I want to see what is actually, yeah, let's see what's happening to Azure Condor.
Yeah. So I think that you get a vision, and you can like in the vision you kind of get that oppressive feeling of being underground, that slightly warm feeling down there, and the room you're in is dark, not pitch black, but it's dark, and it is quite rough worked stone. It looks like this is a room that's been hollowed out of the rock rather than like a finished basement or anything like that. And as your condor is chained to a great stone pillar in this room. There is just like dim red, almost like not so much like torchlight, but more like a burning fire, like that darker sort of darker shade of a darker tone. Is like this from a more reddish tone, and there is a figure who has Azure Condor's is holding Azure Condor's chin, long fingernails, digging into the skin, not hard enough to draw blood, but certainly to leave a mark. And they are bent over him and are whispering something in his ears. You can't get the actual words, and you're not even sure that there are words. Certainly not in this vision, but there's just this like constant murmuring, and the figure is in shadow, but clearly not entirely human. They are taller, they are broader, and they're and a pair of bull's horns extend from each side of their head, and I think you get that there's that moment where they kind of pause and almost start turning to like the perspective that you have on the room, but as they start to turn, you sort of come back to yourself again. Awesome. So yeah. Mirror of the Cloud. What do we see of him this evening?
I think I'll stroll back into that gathering room and take a seat on the throne. Just take advantage of the fact that no one's around now.
Nice. I like
See how it feels.
Yeah, and it is the throne has. It doesn't feel comfortable when you sit in it. There's just an edge to it that's just sort of there sets you kind of sets your nerves jangling a bit. But there you can feel a sense of power coming from the throne itself. It has a life to it. It has there's something to it certainly, but it is not. It's uncomfortable sitting in it. Though you certainly can. It does not reject you forcefully. And last but not least, Zhang Long. What do we see as he returns to the palace?
I'm conflicted. I feel as though I have a duty to remind Lei Ning that Yaling's motives are not pure, that she seeks power and wealth. But that is something better done in private. And my spiders are everywhere. So one of them witnessed what just happened in the throne room. And another is watching Lei Ning. And I realize that there is a small cut on the back of Lei Ning's robe. Almost imperceptible. Certainly not something that she would notice. And I think carefully for a moment. And unnoticeably, a small spider drops down, alights on the robe, and begins to spin some silk so that this tear is it's covered just enough until it can be sewn together properly.
Nice. I like it. Awesome. And as you are all about your various deeds, I think the person most immediately affected by this will be Min Yang. But there is an obvious commotion. There's the kind of a rider arrives at the palace, and after a hurried and loud explanation to the guards, and being led down several halls, they are brought into Min Yang's office. It is a young woman. She is dressed in essentially like a guard's outfit for a some town or some noble family, but she's clearly a bit out of breath, as is obviously written here hard, and she will bow before you and say, Magistrate, apologies for intruding upon you, but there is something that we need your help with. and she will kind of look up, and you can kind of clearly see the horror and anxiety on her face as she says, I've come here from Myland Village. The dead have risen from the graves, and we are under attack from them. They are coming for us, and we need assistance.
Yes, you will have assistance. I think I'm a little gobsmacked. I feel like this seems unlikely, but there's nobody else from this village who can verify this. So I'm just going to say, yes, we'll assemble a force. How many do you need?
I do not know.
How many are the dead?
Dozens upon dozens. It's like the entire graveyard has got up and is.
All right, I'm going to summon a functionary to give this girl a bed and some water and bread and a little tea, so that she can rest, because clearly she's been through a lot. And then I'm going to start pushing to assemble a force, cavalry, some soldiers, and any wuxia masters who feel moved to come. I'm certainly going to go. I have a move that is trust and brotherhood. That says I have up to 6 influence at any time. I would like to. So does that? I don't actually know if that means I should be writing 6 in my influence where it now says 1. But
I think that's more about the maximum that you can have. But yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know. I'm definitely going to use whatever influence I have to try to get people at the court to take this seriously and dispatch a platoon of soldiers.
Sure thing. Yeah, I think that you can. So yeah, we'll actually look at one of the courtly moves. So there is.
So
yeah, no, I think
yeah.
actually this will probably just be. I think if you just want to spend that. If you just want to spend that 1 point, I think you'll be able to do that, because it's well within something you can get your hands on, and you're not particularly going after any one person in general. But yes, you will be able to get a group of troops together that will assist you. Cool. So we'll take another quick break there. We'll come back at 10 past. And we'll see where we end up from here. And obviously, this news will be quickly spreading through the palace. So if anyone else wishes to pitch in, then you're more than welcome to. But yeah, I'll see you all back in about 5 minutes.
David, you're muted.
Sorry, I remember to turn the video back on, but not my voice. Welcome back. We will leap back in. If people, if other people want to get involved with this zombie hunt, then feel free to do so. But also, don't feel free that you have to. I just thought I'd give people a chance to have more of a ensemble scene if you want to. Anyway, to go back in where we were, Min Yang, yes, you will have managed to draft a group of soldiers who are sort of mounting up and getting ready to ride out under your orders.
Good. Let's go. What's the name of the village again?
Mile End Village.
Mile End Village.
It's a little ways away, but not that far from here. It's a couple of hours ride maybe.
Oh, all right. Good. I'm bringing my. I think I've got a staff. It's about 4 feet long, metal staff that is a mild enchantment on it that unfolds to be a three section staff. I've got that with me, and I think I have nothing else, but I hope there are archers and swordsmen coming. And everyone else, you guys all coming?
I think that Silver Starlight maybe sent out like a few of the servants, mainly to keep an eye on what's going on in the surrounding villages, because this is an important part of making sure the kingdom stays under control so that we can claim it later.
Fair.
My spiders have seen what's going on. I'm already formulating a plan. And yes, David, that means I'd like to roll Final Master.
Certainly. Go for it.
All righty. When you declare a plan, roll on a 10 plus, hold 2, on a 7 to 9, hold 1. While carrying out the plan, you can spend your holds to add +1 forward to a roll, clear an element, or have a vital item at hand. On a miss, you hold 1, but the tables are turned on you at some point. And I'd like to roll it. Does Earth make sense to you for caution, focus?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a plan-making sort of move.
All righty. God damn it. It went from 12 to 8.
Always the way.
So that's +1, so there's a 9.
Cool. So yeah, on a 9, I think that just means that
I get 1.
You hold 1 rather than 2. Yep, awesome. So yes, you begin to plot and plan for how to deal with these walking dead.
I've also dispatched a spider to Lei Ning, and it descends upon her shoulder and taps it quite forcefully for a spider, enough for a human to actually notice.
Wait, so it is enough for a human to notice?
Yes. I mean, you notice something on your shoulder, and maybe it is the case that it kind of taps one leg a little bit, and then it doesn't quite get your attention. It actually does start jumping up and down.
I think that Lei Ning will probably recognize the spider as one of yours, and will probably go search for you. Because I'm assuming we do not have a psychic connection that allows you to communicate with me telepathically to let me know what's up.
I mean, I sent a spider. Something is up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that they can communicate telepathically. I mean,
No.
David, is telepathy a thing? Can it be a thing?
It could be, and I believe there is I'm trying to think if it still remains in this. I feel like it might do. I think that there is. Yes, the Aware has a move called Phoenix Flying in the Sky, which allows you to communicate across vast distances via some supernatural medium. So,
Well, I don't have that move, so I guess the spider will have to suffice.
yeah.
But at least you know to come find me, and I can fill you in on what's going on. and the plan.
No, I feel like Ning either way would have found a way to go because chaos, drama, Lei Ning is there. Like, where would she be?
That makes sense.
Nice. And how about Mirror of the Clouds?
I have the have sword will travel ability, so I'll just
Cool.
be there.
Yeah, that is fair.
Makes
That
sense.
is fair. I do love that move. It's very good fun. Perfect. So that being the case, we will skip past the actual travel itself. You will all ride out. As I say,
If I could,
yeah, go for it.
I think I've asked Lei Ning to be in control of the horse for fairly obvious reasons, and I'm riding behind her. And as we travel, I think I'm warning her about Yaling.
Cool.
I don't know if that's something that you want to see role played out for a minute or two, or
Yeah, no, I'm happy to see that.
Lei Ning, I meant to address this sooner, but as you know, we've been preoccupied, but now seems like an ideal time as we head into what seems like certain undeath. I'm concerned about your entanglements with Yaling.
Oh, that was long ago. I don't know to what you are referring. This Yaling, who? The servant? Nah.
At this point, a spider crawls up your left side and perches on your shoulder. And if a spider had a head that it could cock, you would swear that it's looking at you in skepticism.
I think like
Your audio cut out.
Your audio cut out for some reason.
Still muted.
sorry, my Wi-Fi got weird.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I was asking. Warn me about Yaling. Why? It doesn't seem to be mixed up in anything super crazy.
Her motives are power, wealth, prestige. Oftentimes when someone pursues such things, they pursue them to the detriment of others. And if they can gain more of one of those things by harming someone or leaving them or casting them aside, they will not hesitate to do so. Just be wary, be alert.
I will be on my guard.
Good.
I have been hurt once before by Yaling. I will try not to let it happen again, but I can't make any promises.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Indeed.
You guys, I'm afraid I have to cut out a little early. But Min Yang's goal is going to be to take one of these undead intact, so as to learn more about them and where their power comes from. Sorry, I gotta skip.
No worries.
Honestly,
Not a problem. Not a problem. No, catch you next time. And
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Bye.
And I think that's enough for that little bit, don't you?
As they're talking, can I use my servant move? After a private conversation between a PC and another character, explain how you're in a place to overhear it and roll.
Are we playing Passiones?
Yeah, I did notice that move. That does seem to have migrated from the best playbook in Pasión de las Pasiones.
La Empleada.
Yeah. But yes, sorry, but by all means, you can roll that.
Okay. Yeah, I think Yaling has been like riding a few horses away and is like not obviously dressed as a servant of Silver Starlight right now. Like instead of like their court robes, like it's much more muted, much more like she can blend into basically being a servant on a trip. So I will roll this with water, because this is like being aware of my surroundings. And that is an 8 plus 2 is 10.
10, perfect. That is yes. So that it's quite.
I heard the conversation.
You heard the conversation, and
all right,
you escaped
nice.
detection.
Cool.
So yes, you may do with that
She's
information
just like
what
smiling to herself.
And let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to ask you to roll an inner conflict again. I don't feel like it's they're talking about you behind your back, but I don't think that it particularly hit on something there, so that's fine. But yeah, so I think we will we'll cut to the entourage arriving at the outside of the village. And sorry, I just wanted to okay, perfect, cool. I just wanted to check I hadn't brought in anything that was going to be a problem. But yeah, so and I think it's got that kind of zombie horror vibe going on here as you turn up. It's dark. You can hear just like moaning and muttering sounds coming from the darkness. There is like it's not like a huge village, but there is like a obviously like the sort of like the local important family's house is one of those sort of estate type houses where it's got walls around it, and there are lots of torches lit along the walls, and there are clearly people up there watching, living people, I should say. In the shadows around it, you can see, or most of you can see, just like figures shambling, and they seem to have some level of intention, but they don't seem to be moving in a particularly tactical fashion. But they seem to be drawn towards the concentration of people in the big sort of manor house. And you can there's a bit of that smell of decay in the air from of corpses, but more than that, you can just smell that scent of like of just like fresh earth, freshly dug earth coming from them. And that is the situation we'll find yourself in. And I think that obviously Min Yang is going to take control of the troops, and they are going to kind of move to bolster the defense of the manor house. But he is not going to assert direct control over yourselves. You are free to act as you see fit.
I yell and tell the troops, as well as everyone else, that the best way to deal with the undead, the only way to deal with them permanently, is to strike their head or decapitate them or cut it off in some way. That if you destroy the brain and the brain stem, they are no longer a threat. And then turn to Lei Ning and say, come, you and I smile a little bit in the darkness and say, you and I will seek knowledge.
I think Lei Ning's eyes kind of like brighten, and there's this hunger behind them, and it is like, lead on.
I will also point out at this stage there is a move called Face the Supernatural. It's on the Other Moves tab. So this is when you face a new supernatural manifestation alongside the unready, you roll. On a 10+, you get you keep things under check. On a 7 to 9, you choose an option as things get a bit out of hand. However, one of the specific subsections to this rule is that a PC can, if they wish, declare themselves to be unready, and if they do so, they mark a point of XP. If you wish to play the inexperienced one. So yeah, if anyone wishes to count themselves as being unready, then you may volunteer now. Yeah, I got that. I got that impression that we were going to see Lei Ning in there. So yeah, you get to mark a point of XP, and yeah, I think as you lead Lei Ning into the horde, Zhang Long, if you would, like to roll to face the supernatural. Again, you choose whichever element you feel is most appropriate.
Well, and then I do have a quick question about this, because
go for it.
I do have the sorcerer move, which means when I duel with supernatural forces, take +1 ongoing. Does that apply to this roll?
I think so. I think that's fair.
Okay.
That it seems like a fair extension of that move.
All right, and we are looking at, which tab am I looking at for this?
This is in the Other Moves tab, down towards the bottom, on the very far left tab. Face the Supernatural.
Face the Supernatural. Alrighty. So that is +1 from Sorcerer, and again, I think I want to roll with Earth. Caution, Focus, Presence.
Exactly. Yep, it's a good one for this sort of thing.
And that gets me to a 7.
A 7. Okay. So you choose one. You bear the brunt and mark an element. Someone panics and spreads chaos. Someone panics and causes injuries. The manifestation claims a victim, or the manifestation claims a victim.
I think one of the guards is snack food at this point.
Yep. Yeah, and we get I think as sort of the one of the outrider guards, as they're sort of moving into form the gate, they fail to notice that in the sort of scrub and undergrowth there was a technically half the body dragging itself along by its hands, and it grabs them by the legs and pulls them down, and there is a sudden cutaway, and the unpleasant sound effects as they are consumed by this hungry ghost, or hungry corpse, I should say.
Lei Ning, this is why I caution you.
Yeah, I think that Lei Ning is just kind of like eyes wide, like deer in headlights, like, whoa, way in over her head, and this is barely scraping the surface.
Do you still have questions about whether some knowledge is too dangerous?
I think that she turns and says, so long as that knowledge can be harnessed properly.
We shall see about that, won't we? Our task is not to fight these monsters. Our task is to capture one, alive. And I smile a bit and say, please exercise the utmost caution.
I will try my best. However, again, caution is not one of my strong suits.
You will learn. Come, let us go. And with a single leap, I'm up on the rooftops, leaping from house to house, like I'm performing a very odd ballet.
It's nice. And Yaling, what are you doing as those two sort of start heading off into the village itself? The rest of the troops are kind of starting to take up defensive positions around the manor house. What's your plan of? Well, I said plan of attack, but your intention.
Bold of you to assume that I will attack. I think Yaling has also leapt to a high point where she can observe the zombies.
Yeah.
And I'd like to study.
Yeah, by all means. So yeah, choose whichever element you think most suited to your approach, and make a roll.
We will use metal. It's a calculated type of staring at the zombies.
Yep.
Which is a flat roll for me. That's a 7. Whoa, it changed and made itself a 3. Sad.
It'll do that. I actually had it do that on me the other day, and it was a higher number than it had been before. That's literally the only time that's happened. It's almost always lower. Okay, so I think you climb up onto or leap up onto the roof of a building. And as you do, a bell chimes from somewhere, a little bit further away, maybe just slightly outside the village itself. But this bell chimes, and a spectral figure. There is a vague humanoid aspect to them, but it's not really they're not really anything discernible about them. Dark wispy, shadowy, with deep glowing red eyes, and it forms up just out of nothing before you, and lets out a shriek. It's of kind of loss, and it doesn't sound angry as such, but there is also an anger to it, and it is going to lunge towards you. Its fingers penetrate through your skin. It's an unsettling feeling. It's cold, like burning cold to the touch, as it jabs its fingers into you. You feel just a little bit of your soul kind of wither at its touch. And if you would like to mark your metal for me, please. And I'm going to ask at this point, Mirror of the Cloud, would you like to make your appearance?
Yeah, seems like a good moment to come in. Would you say that this is a place tainted by a supernatural presence?
Absolutely, it is. Yes.
Right. Then what do I do? Okay. Well,
yes. So yeah, you get to make a roll again as ever. You choose the element, and you get to, if on a hit, you get to ask. You get to see that feel hidden energies and may ask a study question about it.
So I think water makes sense for this.
Yep.
That's a 9.
Perfect. Oh, and also I'll ask. Sorry, I didn't. How does it look when you appear on the scene? Does this look like? Is this sort of like a sudden appearance out of nowhere, or is it just sort of revealed you've been in the background all along?
No, I don't think I was just in the. I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah,
how I happen to be here. I'm just. Yeah.
That's cool. No, that's perfectly. That's nice.
Okay, so I get to ask a study question.
Yeah, that's right. I'll give you a little bit of context first. So, as you arrive here, you can feel you can feel this unsettling force that is animating these bodies. There is a sense of hunger, a sense of loss permeating the place. And yeah, the one thing, and the other thing I think I will give you at this point is that this feels more like a broader effect that is like affecting the area. The zombies themselves, it doesn't feel like they are being animated by like their soul, as it were. This feels more like just a manifestation in the area that is puppeting these bodies, essentially. But yeah, if you would like to ask a question, you may do so.
Well, do I get a sense that this thing that's attacked Yaling is at the center of this, or just?
Yes, you think it is. You think that this is the closest thing to a manifestation of the aura as a whole. But yeah, and I think we're going to briefly pop back over to the other two as they are going zombie hunting, and then we'll pop back and we'll probably wrap things up fairly soon. But I'll just give you a last few chances for a little bit of what's up. So yeah, Zhang Long, Lei Ning, how your plan was to just try and capture zombie. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd like to roll study.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like any of these supernatural aspects apply. So, study. Here we are. We're on the rooftops. We have some elevation.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, can I see? Well, let me roll study first. And let me roll that with water for awareness and flexibility. And does the +1 ongoing when dealing with a supernatural threat still apply?
I think probably not for this role.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so that's +1.
Sure thing.
And it went up to a 7, so that's an 8.
Nice. So yeah, you gain 1 hold. So yeah, you can either ask a question or reveal a detail, or you could learn a skill. But I'm going to surprise nobody by saying that the zombies themselves are not trained martial artists.
Although wuxia zombies is a terrifying thing, and perhaps you should have gone with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there won't be some that are, but the sort of the general like horde of zombies here is they're not martially skilled. They are very much the shambling variety.
Okay, so what do I learn from my study move?
So yeah, you will feel kind of, you can hear the movements and stuff around you. You can smell that like charnel smell coming up. There are definitely a number of these zombies around. They, as I've said before, they're clearly moving with some purpose, but they don't seem to be moving in a particularly tactical kind of way. They don't seem to be moving in a particularly uniform way. It's more like they're being it's more like what you get the feeling is it's more like they're being like attracted than directed, if that makes sense. They're coming towards where there are people, you think, but
can I detect the direction that they're being directed from?
Yes, you can. Yep, they seem to almost entirely be coming from one direction, just outside of the village.
Lei Ning, I think we may have a different path. Come, follow me. And I start leaping in the direction that the zombies are coming from, reasoning that I'm going to find something in that direction that may be more valuable than a zombie.
Yeah, certainly. So you will manage to cross the embattled town, and you will reach the where the zombies seem to be originating from, and
Lei Ning, are you following or?
oh yeah, so.
Yeah, I think that she kind of rolls her eyes and is like, "Oh God, not again!" And is like, "Ugh," and is like just trying to like keep up.
Nice.
Is I just got to ask, is that inner conflict?
Is it? I don't know.
I guess that's I mean, does it feel? Do you actually feel like there's a true conflict there? Or is this more just kind of grudging?
For me, it was just I was going for just a kind of grudging, like oh my gosh, I have to go and physically keep up with this man who shouldn't be able to move like this, but is, and like I want to be able to do that, but I can't.
No, that's cool. No, that's fine. So no, in which case, no, I won't ask you to make an inner conflict roll for now. But when you reach where the sort of origin point for these walking corpses, it is perhaps unsurprisingly a graveyard just outside of the town. There is again that scent. There is that scent of decay, but here that sort of smell of turned earth is a lot stronger. And Lei Ning, you can obviously see that there are dozens and dozens of graves. Obviously, all the ones that look slightly newer, but there are dozens of graves that are all disturbed. The earth pulled out from them. The sort of holes where the bodies have left, sort of broken bits of coffin all over the place. This is clearly where they are coming from. And I think we will leave things there for you for now. And I just want to hop back to Mirror of the Cloud and Yaling up on the roof. I just wanted to double check. I'm right in thinking, aren't I, that you are not here next week, Maria?
That is correct.
Yeah, cool. No worries. So we'll try and get you written out in a non lethal fashion. But cool. So as Mirror of the Cloud arrives on this rooftop and sees this spectral creature confronting Yaling, Yaling, what are you going to do?
I had an idea for how I could potentially be written out.
Hmm?
But I was wondering if, Mirror, you're still studying the creature?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think I got my initial feel of it, and I guess I need to find out like the scale of this thing. I also need to study it.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay. I want to know if I can launch myself at it and do something terrible and write myself out.
You can obviously obviously I was going to say the other way of finding out its scale is to fight it, and
we're just going to do that. It seems like it's probably above my scale, so this seems like a great idea. So I guess I'm going to attempt to duel it as it's got its like soul-sucking claws in me.
Yeah, sure thing. So we'll do a quick duel. Probably be our last thing of the evening. So we'll obviously keep this bit fairly brief, but the general, because this is the first time again we're introducing a duel into the game. So the way this sort of works is once the duel starts, we, as in I and Yaling here, will kind of describe the sort of fight going backwards and forwards a little bit, until we sort of reach a point where we think that the duel move itself should be rolled. That move there will then obviously determine the exact outcome of the duel. However, on the meta level, the more important thing is the scale. If your opponent is higher scale, you cannot win against them. You will lose the fight, but what you roll determines how well you do it. Likewise, if you are of higher scale than them, then you are. I think it's almost guaranteed that you'll win. I think actually on a miss, that bad things can still happen to you, but you still technically win. On the duel, it's more of a standard success fail type deal. But yeah. So I think that so as I say, it has its fingers sort of inside one of your pressure points. It seems to know, for all that it is a sort of roiling spectral mass, its movements seem very trained and precise, like it knows what it's doing. And yeah, it has its I think it's actually it's just left its sort of fingers in that pressure point, and it's like you can sort of almost feel it like drawing out more of your life force as it does so. What do you do?
I think like down one of my sleeves, I like flick my arm and another fan comes out, and I basically just sweep my arm and try to hit its arm where it's like holding onto me, and basically try to break its hold. And like it looks like, since my style uses like water, it kind of just looks like a flowy attempt at moving.
Yeah, and I think as you strike at it with this fan, it's like I said, it's not truly solid, but and I think actually that in this case that like as you bring the fan towards it, there's that gust of wind, and it almost seems to like shimmer and disperse a little, but then it like spins around you. And sort of like leaps, or not leaps, but like floats up into the air, and then strikes down again at you from above, raking at you with its claws. And it's sort of, it's not quite leaving. It's not actually opening your skin. It's not leaving cuts, but it is leaving like, what's the word I'm looking for? Red marks anyway down your down your skin where it rakes its cold fingers against you.
Probably try to like cartwheel out of the way.
Yeah, and I think as you sort of skitter back across the tiles of the roof, it like barrels towards you, and crashes into you, and it, like I said, even though it's not fully material, it certainly has a lot of force behind it, and you feel like pushing and knocking into you and trying to force you back. And I think we will go for the dual move there.
All right, I will roll plus style element, which
Yeah,
is
that's right.
water. I think, yeah, okay. Just 2. So I'll love it when it goes down. That's a 5 plus 2 is 7.
7. Okay, so on a hit, you lose the conflict, but you get to determine how you lose. On a 7 to 9, you also have to mark an element. It doesn't have to be your style element. You can choose which one is marked.
Okay.
But yeah.
I will mark fire then.
Yeah, as it leeches the
Yeah.
life and warmth from you.
And I think it just looks like, as it strikes me with all of its force, like, I don't know if it sort of almost looks like it goes through me. Maybe it's like partially solid. And you just see Yaling like crumple on the roof.
Yeah. And I think our last scene for this evening will be that we'll see Yaling unmoving on the tiles of the roof with the sort of light reflecting off of them, almost looking unmoving, impassive, possibly even lifeless, as the spectral creature surges up from her and lets out a howl that echoes across the village. And that's where we'll leave things for this evening. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll just do our quick end of session stuff. If you hit your marked entanglement, then you may mark 2 XP. If you hit your unmarked entanglement, you can mark 1 XP. I'm not going to go through and double check on everyone this time because we're kind of already up against the hour. I will trust you to self-police, but if you want to ask, oh, do you think I hit this or whatever, feel free to do so. But like I said, I trust you to both to be to mark if you think you've hit it, and also to be generous with yourselves. And if you think you kind of got close, that's cool. But yeah, I'm going to stop our recording now. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been a good fun session.